Hey, we've got more music. It's a Cinderella.
This is perfect.
Is this Moana?
No.
I don't know what this is. I don't have phones, so I'm lost.
God bless you, sir.
Right, Todd's a big sports fanatic.
I hear it now.
He's crazy.
By the way, something else I didn't mention to you is Navy is the only service song in the United States that actually has drinking involved in it.
Interesting.
There's a point that says drink to the
Interesting.
phone.
Huh.
Perfect.
Well,
Absolutely.
for those listeners that want to
Precious.
have a drink right now, if you're in the Navy, go ahead.
After listening to us, I'm sure.
Correct. But before we get back to just diving deeper into David's story and how our listeners can also reach him, not just when you're in crisis control, but I also wanted to make sure, Jay, we can just start with you, speaking to the microphone, but how can people find you to talk about or compare what they have in insurance and see the next level, you know?
You know, the easiest way, and we just got the website up and running. A lot of the team members on there, some are not, that have not given me their picture and bio, but I digress again.
Sure.
InsuranceSolutionsPC.com.
And is there a contact phone number, an office note?
Everything on there. So if you go to the About Us, about the team, you'll have an email address. There's Twitter, working on the Facebook, all that stuff. But that's the best way. And then, no, I'm not giving my cell phone number out.
No,
I'll give it out. I digress.
I'll give it out to you. So InsuranceSolutionsPC.com.
That's the best way to reach us.
Now you can be quiet. Back to David. So, yeah, how can people reach you before we dive into the rest of the story?
Website, Stalwart Communications. It's stalwartcom, C-O-M.com. That's also got my phone number up there, a contact form you can fill out there. It's easy enough to get a hold of me.
Can you spell Stalwart, please?
Yeah, STALWARTCOM.com, stalwartcom.com.
Okay,
And
perfect.
you can find me on Twitter. Oates Stalwart is another way to reach me.
Okay, perfect. So we're almost done, or maybe we're done with damage and crisis control from when people are finding you, like if they get an inkling of something, they should reach out to you is kind of how you left it off.
Yeah, yeah.
So is that where you're finding most people are coming to you, or?
It's about half of the referrals I get. The other is long-range positive PR and positive marketing. I'm a fractional chief marketing officer for small to mid-sized businesses, so I help develop and execute the strategies.
What's fractional marketing?
So it's sort of taking a CMO on a part-time or contract basis instead of paying for the full time with the big six-figure salary and things like that. I come in. And I do those on performance base. So I align half of my fees and I put them on contingency to results. So this goes back to the Navy days. We've been talking a lot about military. When I was serving, as you know, no one gave, and I'll say it, damn, for Facebook Live, no one gave a damn how many hours I was actually working. You know, did you right, exactly. Did you accomplish the mission? Did it benefit the unit? And I took that same mentality when I started my own practice.
That's awesome.
Is for positive, proactive.
You produce, you get paid.
Yeah,
you don't.
And so I align half the fees. The only way I'm going to profit is if you see website traffic, inbound leads, increase interest. And so for me on that side of the business, I've got to do my due diligence and only take on clients that I believe I can actually, accomplish something for them, that I can actually achieve, an intended result.
I need somebody like you. I'm just wondering, do I get a discount or is there a surcharge?
Hey,
Ohio State,
after
dude.
the show.
You're surcharge.
Are
you kidding? Fees
with
just
double
doubled.
tax.
Oh my God!
Right?
Unless you take me to an Ohio State Michigan game, or we go to, or because my wife's a Badger, we go Ohio State to Wisconsin, and we do that.
We can do
then
that.
Then we might
On-air
talk a big
negotiation.
show.
Right?
like
I've created monsters.
Yes.
But so crisis control is one thing. Other people, just finding that I need to grow. I don't really know what I'm doing with social media. I don't know what, next level stuff. And then you're also doing fractional. So is that how people are also finding you? You've got, let's just say, other companies out there that go, hey, call Dave. He's a fractional CTO. So you've got
CMO, Chief Marketing Officer.
Excuse me.
Yeah. No, to your point, people, the trigger points on that side is usually, hey, I'm exhausted my Rolodex, right? I don't know who else to call. I've got salespeople out there. There's not enough time in the day to really build the lead pipeline. Or I'm spending a lot of money on marketing right now, and I don't know what's working and what's not.
Right.
And we can go in there and forensics. The typical organization size that I work with on that is typically $5 million to about $50 million. On the fractional chief marketing officer side and those kind of things, because what happens is you get too small. I'd be happy to have conversations with anybody on that level, but
so he's
usually
not talking to me.
See, and that's what I was going to say. As soon as you put the amounts, Jay was like,
He just it doesn't. Well, here's the deal.
That's why I told him to be quiet.
But I have
Maybe quiet.
I have conversations with entrepreneurs like that all the time, and I love it but usually you can say, hey, do these 3 things, and you're gonna double your business. You can do it on your own, and depending on the person, they either buy or I buy, and it's going to be you, brother. I'm just letting you know that right now, so
That's
we can
awesome,
go for
man.
beers. But
That's awesome.
But that's usually you can help people help themselves and pace it forward. I mean, this is we talked about San Diego earlier in the first
Thank
one.
you.
The collaboration of this area, and that's we're all just trying to make a buck in this town,
Right.
and be a contributor. How do you not give back for people?
Boy, what a competitive town.
So with a couple of minutes, because I also want to just make sure we talk to Paul about the health of the mortgage market, what's going on. But we know that people are finding you when, oh my gosh, my world is exploding in a negative. And then you've also got people that are like, hey, I've exhausted my Rolodex. I'm not exactly sure what to do. Is this working? Isn't it? But what can you tell the listeners with definitive purpose? Hey, I come in and this is what's going to happen.
The idea is I will create a bigger, more effective pipeline of prospective customers, partners, and investors for you than you can get now. And if I can't do that, I won't take the business.
And how can people reach you again?
Same website, stalwartcom.com, STALWARTCOM.com. My phone numbers and contact forms are all there.
Perfect. And we'll come back to these guys because they both can't be quiet. But I just wanted to touch on where everything is at. I know that you study the market. You're always watching about what's going on because of how that's going to impact what rates are doing, how affordability in San Diego is going, the health of the nation. But what can you tell the listeners about what they should be super mindful of? Because the bond market's also gone up and down like a yo-yo in the past week, right?
Yeah. It's been really choppy. I mean, there's a lot of different factors, right? Because, you have the unemployment that came out and it was better than expected. And, we actually had a really nice week last week for interest rates. The bonds were improving pretty rapidly.
Mm-hmm.
We hit that unemployment report Friday. And the reason why people were like, what do jobs have to do with mortgages? Well, mortgages are bonds. And if you have wage inflation and low unemployment and a growing economy, one of the signs, most economists would say, one of the signs of a good economy is an interest rate around 7.25%, right? And you've probably heard that before. But so a artificially low interest rate is because your economy sucks. It needs
Absolutely.
You need that to help improve profits and to drive growth and do those things. It makes it cheaper for businesses to run their business. So as we're seeing the economy shift, rates are just they're going to continue to go up, and it's going to be a bumpy road on the way up. Hopefully it doesn't go too rapidly. It's kind of interesting to see what the Fed's like really dug in on 2 hikes this year, potentially 3. I think that might be a little bit aggressive personally, but there's a point where we do have to normalize, and going there too fast though. One thing I noticed with buyers is like we had that pop after Christmas about 1%, and they're just starting to get used to it, and then it started moving again. And
I agree.
And so it's been a little challenging for buyers to feel like, where's the needle moving, and is that going to hurt values and things like that? And you and I have had some really good discussions about it. The big thing is people don't really understand what it means for them, and I think you made a really good point when we had this talk a couple of weeks ago. Is breaking it down to dollars and cents, like what does that mean for a $500,000 loan? Is it $600? Is it $100?
Right.
And we're like, hey, it's $150 to $200. Yeah, it sucks, but it's not like a devastating blow for most people. But there's a perception that it's a lot more than what it really is. So.
And that is the truth, because so many people, even if we had, we've had more than a 0.5 point increase, in what, 8 months. And if you look at that, how much impact does that really have? And that's what nobody talks about. They're just like the interest rate versus what's the payment. Yeah. And affordability index is still pretty healthy. We're somewhere around 25% for affordability index, which means 25% of the population can still buy. When we get to 8 or 9%, then we have destruction, right? We're not quite there. Yeah. But with the health of the economy, so many people intertwine where interest rates are going. And then when we put it into the housing market, inventory is still incredibly low. And that's the challenge. If you're anything under 1.2 million, which I might be saying big numbers for San Diego, we're used to those things. But if any of our listeners are elsewhere, you'd be thinking, wow, that's pretty crazy. But that's commonplace here, and that's what we have to accept. But things over 1.2, especially over 1.6, can sit a lot longer. But if you're 7, 8, 900,000, 600, 500, forget about it. Multiple offers, people freaking out trying to get a property. So there's still a lot of action going on. Upper end is taking a little bit of a blow right now from what I see. But overall, I mean, this marketplace for where most people are looking to buy, 800 or under, it's crazy. You're seriously, people are losing their mind trying to get an accepted offer in this market.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that's me tossing around numbers like that, like 800, like it's no big deal. I'm going to Texas. I'm going to Arizona. Right?
Yeah, and we are seeing that too. I mean, net migrations up in California. I mean, we're
Nevada's, Nevada, Arizona, Texas. Those are the three places
losing people. They're going there, and a lot of it is affordability. But that's where the interesting part of the jobs. Like to me, the jobs is such a big part of real estate valuation and appreciation, because if people have a good job, they're going to stay in their home. They're going to buy a home. They're going to be comfortable. We put a deal together for a guy yesterday, and he makes great money, him and his wife. And he's just like, hey, I'm real comfortable with the payment. I need to have a little bit less down because I want to keep my savings intact or do this and that. And there are some better programs out there now than there have been in the past for first-time buyers.
That's been emerging for sure.
Some of them are pretty aggressive. Like we were able to structure a really unique deal for him that we just got accepted today, where he's bringing like $4,000 to close on a 565 house. Well, he has money in the bank. He has a great credit, but it's like, to me, I actually like that he's keeping a good savings account intact. He needs the write-off. Their debt ratios are super low. Putting down 5% versus a minimal amount and keeping a healthy savings account that can keep you out of debt, keep you out of using credit cards. To me, he's got a better financial picture in that scenario. But those are things that we haven't had in the past. And look, you still got to 2-year tax returns, fully vetted credit, fully vetted employment. Like that stuff has to be rock solid. So the underlying debt is still extremely healthy, lowest default rates ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just the average person last year put down 19% and had a 720 FICO score.
Really?
Average buyer.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy cow.
The overall health of the debt that's out there is extremely good. And it's really the inventory that's a challenge.
Yes. Yeah.
So call Steve. We need some more houses. My clients need houses.
I've got off-market stuff if anyone's looking. You can reach me at 760-300-9166 to talk anything real estate. And from my perspective, it's not about buying or selling. It's also about consulting. So you don't have to have any urgency or immediacy. You just want to know about what's going on here in San Diego, or how to go through the market, or even how to build a plan to get prepared. That's what I do. And again, I really wanted to say that this was an amazing show. We have the best listeners. That's what I'm going to start saying every time. You guys are amazing. You too. So you guys are awesome. And I'm just super stoked that we had such great talent. Like you guys are top professionals in what you do. Always a top professional in lending. Yeah.
You likewise.
I'm okay in real estate.
Likewise, you are.
Thanks for the time.
Only one regret, Steve. Only one regret.
What is it?
I gotta have more cowbell.
Yeah. We got it in.
You gotta have a drum roll here too. All right,
I swore I was going to try to get that in. Like the
I kept looking at him.
11:70 a.m. The
Don't they need
answer.
that?
Stephen Wener of EXP Realty with Whissel Realty. Talk to y'all soon.